Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 6. We have passed the halfway mark, and here we are, episode 6 of Jordan and Drew, the Sports Crew's Summer Sports Spectacular. I'm Jordon Lawrenz, joined alongside the one and only Drew Skyberg. But before we get going today, just got to say, we're recording this on Monday night, and news passed today in the world of hockey. Matisse Kivlenieks, 24 years old, goalie, Columbus Blue Jackets, has sadly passed away. And we honored one of our episodes a long time ago, and we're going to do the same here. Kivlenieks definitely deserves this here today. 24-year-old goalie gone way too soon, and it fits. I mean, we're talking about baseball obviously here today, but sports all together, the whole world came together for this man on Monday, and just terrible to see. But we're going to try not to be so sad during this episode, as we're going to lift our spirits up as we watched a great Game 7, Drew. I mean, we're going to talk about the game here, but I thought this was one of the better games we watched.
Yeah, we watched the 1991 World Series Game 7. Fast forward 10 years later, and we got ourselves another great Game 7 in the World Series.
Both pitchers' duels, we might add, and eventually things really picked up, and it was some very, very good stuff. So let's talk about it, right? 2001 MLB season, the year I was born. November 10th, 2001. So I was born, 6 days after this World Series concluded? Kind of crazy when you think about it like that. And this was a very interesting MLB season, obviously due to 9/11, which pushed everything back. But it was also unique because the MLB used an unbalanced schedule for the first time in 9 years in the NL, and first time in, 34 years maybe in the American League. So in all divisions except the NL Central and AL West, each team played each other 4 times in the same division, or each of the other 4 teams, in the same division played each other 19 times. So in the NL Central, it was 16 or 17 times. And in the AL West, it was actually 19 or 20 times. So unbalanced schedule here in 2001. First time they were really using it in a while. Obviously, this season we know memorable thanks to Barry Bonds' home run record. Also, the Mariners tying the major league record, 116 wins. We'll talk about it here coming up. And it says baseball's patriotic return after a week's worth of games being postponed due to the 9/11 terrorist attacks. So the end of the regular season got pushed back from September 30th to October 7th. And the World Series didn't get finished until November 4th because it went all 7 games. Season was the first of the 21st century, by the way, which makes sense. I guess it's in 2001. So there's another little note as well. But we're here to talk about some all-stars this year, 2001, Drew. Who is an all-star?
So, Jordan, like you mentioned, there was that insane Seattle Mariner team. And let me tell you, they had a lot of all-stars.
Dominated.
They dominated it, is right. John Olerud, Brett Boone, not Alex Rodriguez yet. He was on the Rangers now, so not him. Ichiro Suzuki, Edgar Martinez, and then they had pitchers. They had Freddie Garcia, Jeff Nelson, and they had Katsuro Sasaki, and they had a lot of guys represent them. And then I'm going to talk about some of the guys for the game we talked about, Diamondbacks, Yankees, that we will be talking about. We got Roger Clemens, who we saw this game. We got Mariano Rivera, we got Tino Martinez, Derek Jeter, some big guys there. And then for the NL, we had for the Diamondbacks, we got, of course, the big names, Kurt Schilling, Randy Johnson, and then for the Brewers, their lone all-star this year, Ben Sheets.
What a guy, huh? Ben Sheets. And that was his first ever all-star appearance at this point. So we'll take it 19 appearances for Cal Ripken Jr. as he made the AL All-Stars. And like you said, Alex Rodriguez was on the Rangers at this point in time. So now seeing him on the Yankees in our World Series. But let's move on a little bit to the standings. Like we said, Seattle Mariners, 116 wins. Also in their division, the Oakland Athletics finished second place with 102 wins, which would have easily been first place in any other division. But because of how great the Mariners were, The A's got the 2 seed. Yankees were atop the AL East 95 and 65, 13 and a half games up from the Red Sox. Indians 91 and 71, 6 games ahead of the Twins. The Braves were 88 and 74, just 2 games over the Phillies. Houston Astros and St. Louis Cardinals were tied. Both were 93 and 69. Can you guess the Brewers' record here in 2001? Or just remotely guess, kind of similar. How many wins did you think they had?
I'm going to say, well, 2001, they're probably really bad. I'm going to say it was in the 60s.
Yeah, 68 wins, 94 losses, 25 games back. The NL Central at this time has the Houston Astros. It's the Astros, Cardinals, Cubs, Brewers, Reds, and Pirates. And then the NL West, the Diamondbacks, 92 and 70, just 2 games over the Giants. So, like I said, you're looking at 95 wins, 91 wins, 88 wins, 93 wins, 92 wins. The A's got screwed, 102 wins in second place, thanks to a Mariners team that had a .716 winning percentage, 57 and 24 at home, 59 and 22 on the road.
Wow.
Absolutely spectacular, Drew. And you're going to read some stat leaders for the season. Obviously, Barry Bonds, the top one for sure.
Oh, of course, Jordan. He had the 73 home runs. That's a single season record for most home runs in a season. Has not been broken. I don't know if it will be.
Never will.
Yeah, and then we had the Rookie of the Year, and Ichiro Suzuki led the American League in average, a big name. Alex Rodriguez led the AL in homers with 52. And then we have, I'm going to read the pitching stats for the NL. ERA and strikeouts was led by Arizona Diamondbacks' very own Randy Johnson with a 2.49 ERA and 372 strikeouts. He had 152 more strikeouts than the guy who led the AL and Heidi Onomo.
Randy Johnson was insane. That is crazy. 372 strikeouts and batting averages I found very intriguing. Larry Walker and Ichiro Suzuki both had 350, so they were tied. We didn't have one guy who led the league in averages. 160 RBIs for Sammy Sosa. That is crazy, crazy. These numbers are oh so high. Let's get to the postseason. What happened? We do have ALDS and NLDS. Back in 91, we didn't, but now we have them. So it was an 8-team tournament. Seattle Mariners beat the Cleveland Indians, won all 5 games. They won 3 games to 2. Yankees go over the Oakland A's 3-2. Again, like I said, Oakland kind of got screwed. Finishing in second, they lost to the Yankees. Maybe the eventual World Series champ? I don't know. We'll have to see. Atlanta swept Houston. Atlanta was the 3 seed. Houston was the 1 seed, 3 games to 0. Then Arizona wins a 5-game battle over St. Louis, 3-2. Both of the CS, the championship series, went 5 games. Arizona wins 4-1, and the Yankees win 4-1. Drew, do you think that was a big shock at the time? Seattle going down 4-1?
I think at the time it was, Jordan, but looking at some of the names on the Mariners compared to the Yankees, I mean, that Seattle team was kind of playing over their heads with some, like, they're really just a great regular season team, and that Yankees team, we know, was built for the postseason.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like everyone says the Bucks is a regular season team, not built for the postseason. We should say, by the way, we can officially confirm the Bucks are in the NBA Finals. We didn't get to mention it back on episode 17, but we can confirm Bucks in the finals. Bucks and Suns game 1 in the books at this point. So hoping for some fun, good series. I hope it goes all 7. I don't really know. I just want a good series out of it, really. That's all. Anything to say about that real quick?
I'm happy the Bucks made it, Jordan. Bucks in 6.
There you go. They have a shirt up on the shop that says Bucks in 6. It looks absolutely beautiful. Might have to grab one of those. But back to the World Series. Game 1. October 27th, the Diamondbacks beat the Yankees 9-1. Not even close in that first game. 4-0 Curt Schilling on the mound. He gets the win there. Game 2. Diamondbacks, once again, 4-0 win. Shut out the Yankees. Randy Johnson, the man on the mound, getting the win in that game. Yankees get one back. Game 3rd, October 30th. Roger Clemens gets himself the W. Mariano Rivera comes in to make a save. He's a big name we're going to have to keep an eye on. 2-1 win for the Yankees in Game 3. Game 4, 10 innings. And a little bit of extras, games 4 and 5. Yankees win game 4, 4-3. So a very close win there. And we go to game 5, which the Yankees won in 12 innings, 3-2. So Yankees have won 2-1. They have won 4-3, and they've won 3-2. The Diamondbacks win Game 6, 15-2. Drew Skyberg, 22 hits for the Diamondbacks. World Series record.
Yes, it was, Jordan. And you know why it was? Andy Pettitte of the New York Yankees, the starting pitcher for them that game, became a victim of tipping. During that Game 6, the Diamondbacks, they realized that Pettitte was tipping his pitches with the way he held the glove before throwing. So what that basically means is the way he was kind of holding his glove, like kind of signaled what pitch was coming. Diamondback hitters picked up on this, and they were able to capitalize on it.
Oh, yeah. Jumped all over it. Randy Johnson with the win in this game, 15-2. So Diamondbacks have won 9-1, 4-0, 15-2. Yankees have won all their games by just one run. Diamondbacks getting to host Game 7 just one day after Game 6, and it is at the one and only Bank One ballpark. So I guess they went from Bank One to Chase because it's Chase Field right now. So fun little bank transition there for the Diamondbacks, and it's time for Game 7. We know the starters in this game. Curt Schilling, 4-0 record this postseason, .88 ERA, insanely low. He's coming off just 3 days rest. Then Roger Clemens, he's 1-1 in the postseason, 2.66 ERA, so a big difference right away between the two pitchers. Drew, you turn the game on, 2001. Graphics, we noticed those are there, but what else are your first thoughts right out of gate?
Yep, I see the scoreboard, see the graphics, and I hear Joe Buck, and he sounds depressed. That's really what, yeah.
I'm not the biggest Joe Buck hater, but this certainly wasn't one of his better games.
Yeah, he did all right. I also recognized Tim McCarver. We recognized him, Jordan, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, he did the 91 with Jack Buck, and now he's doing 01 with Joe Buck. So, I mean, I think, honestly, color commentary is one of the easiest jobs in the world. All you have to do is know a thing or two about each of the guys and talk about the game. Like, that's basically it. You get to interrupt the play-by-play guy nicely, of course, and you just get to say things whenever you want, as long as they're remotely similar. And it's baseball, so you can just laugh about things, make small talk. And I don't know. I kind of enjoy Tim McCarver. I think he's a funny little guy. He does some good stuff. What were your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he did a great job. He's certainly better than the guy we had last week.
Oof, yeah, those guys were awful. Don't even remember their names, nor should I at this point. So some stats coming into the game here. The last two Game 7s have gone extra innings. We watched the one in 91, which went 10 innings. And then in 97, that Game 7 went into extras. So will that trend continue here? We're going to have to see. Yankees, perfect 500 in Game 7s. They're 5-5 overall. As I said, Diamondbacks had 22 hits in Game 6. Relievers, they come into play later in the game, but they're 0-2 with a 4.15 ERA in this series. It's been all starting pitching. Relievers are not doing well at all. And similar to our 91 series, the home team has won every game so far in the series, which is absolutely crazy. And Drew, I have to ask, they would do like a they would have like a little beat that would play, and it would give an update on Emmy Awards. I found it annoying, but I guess at the time, if you're not watching the Emmys and instead you're watching the World Series, I guess it's good for you. I don't know.
Yeah, that bothered me. Oh, I got a new Emmy Award winning update. Oh, great.
Yeah, I looked at my phone after the first time. I'm like, is my ringer on or something? What's up with this?
Yeah, it confused me too. And at the end of the half innings, they did the rah, rah noise or whatever. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Okay, good. It was not just me.
No, and they also put like this. Obviously, they're working the internet into things because they were doing polls and stuff too. They were asking like, should so and so be pulled, or who's going to get a hit here? I mean, I thought those were kind of cool, but the Emmy stuff was annoying. It didn't need to be there at all. So let's get ourselves into this game. First inning, right out of the gate, Yankees strikeout. Curt Schilling gets a K right to start, and then the second at bat, I have it in my notes, is a quote unquote double because the Yankee tried to go for third base, tried running, tried to make it there. Nope, couldn't do it. He had an easy double, but thanks to Batista to counsel to the third baseman. Drew, this was an absolutely beautiful relay throw.
Yes, it was by our manager, Craig Counsell. It was great to see him making a wonderful throw to third and gun out Paul O'Neill.
Council made some good defensive plays in this game. I mean, he certainly wasn't the best hitter, but I thought his defense was phenomenal. Love our boy, Craig Council, who's leading quite the great Brewer team at this time, who's wrapping up a series with the Mets tonight. Jacob deGrom was scheduled to pitch last night, so we'll see how that went. I mean, we don't know yet, but oof, hopefully he didn't get no hit. Then fly out to center, so that is our first inning. 3 up, 3 down, thanks to the stupid mistake by the Yankees trying to stretch 3. Then we have ourselves a Craig Counsell base hit off an error. Oh, I should say first there was a flyout. Then Craig Counsell ends up sliding into first base thanks to an error by the first baseman. Hit and run situation. So they've got a runner on second, that being Craig Counsell, batter up, and he strikes out. So that was that. Then in the second inning, 3 up, 3 down, right out of the gate again for Kurt Schilling. He's been pitching phenomenal so far. Then bottom of the second inning, Diamondbacks get a hit. They're officially their first hit of the game, but 2 more strikeouts after from Roger Clemens. And now we go to the third inning. 3 up, 3 down, once again for the Yankees. Drew, the Yankees took a long time to get going.
Yes, they did. And the reason being, Jordan, Kurt Schilling on the mound. Oh my goodness. He had a high 90s fastball going. His splitter, did you see that, Jordan? His splitter was dropping had so much break to it. It was filthy.
It was a lot. They didn't really mention it enough, I don't think. I think they kind of just let off for the pitches. They weren't talking. I mean, maybe they were just talking too much about the Yankees, but that especially had a lot of break to it, and there's no way the Yankees could hit that. So Craig Counsell gets on base after a strikeout, and how many times did they try and pick this man off?
Like 3 or 4 times in a row, I think, at one point.
It was absolutely crazy. They were so scared of our manager, and then another strikeout. So we see Roger Clemens. He is really getting his strikeouts going. Diamondbacks swinging and missing quite a bit. Another single, 2 on, 2 out for the Diamondbacks, and it is a strikeout once again. So through 3 innings, the second time the Diamondbacks have left 2 stranded, and that's a big theme in this game.
Yeah, a lot of stranded runs, or runners on base, and I think that's basically because of these 2 great pitchers. I mean, they were really able to get out of trouble with getting strikeouts.
They were coming in clutch at times when they needed to, and they were doing well. 3 up, 3 down again in the top of the 4th inning, going to the bottom, fly out to center. Then you've got a single once again for the Diamondbacks, but back-to-back strikeouts. Clemens, through 4 innings, has thrown 75 pitches, so his pitch count's getting high already, but he's got 8 strikeouts. So such a good job by Clemens. And also, what did you think of this strike zone? I mean, he let a lot of stuff go and he was calling strikes.
He was a pitcher's umpire, let me tell you, Jordan. And I mean, these guys didn't need any help. Clemens and Schilling, they really don't. And he did give them a lot of help.
He really did. Some of these, I wouldn't even say the strikeouts, but some of like the pitches and the crucial counts, they were going by way of the pitcher. So top of the 5th, 3 up, 3 down. You guessed it. The Yankees have 2 errors and haven't had a single base runner through 5 innings. At the bottom of the inning, this is where we see Jeter come into play. I mean, it's one of those simple routine plays, but Jeter kind of got a little wobbled up. I think they were overhyping it a bit, but you could certainly see him limping later on. Soriano has another error later on in the inning, which is his 3rd error of the series. So that is not good at all for this Yankees team, but we're through 5. 5 hits through 5 innings, 4 of which go to the Diamondbacks. And like we said, the Yankees hit doesn't even count. What are your thoughts on that? That if you go like 2 bases that you have easily, but then you try to stretch it for 3, it counts as a base hit. Should it?
Yeah, I think it's fine that it counts as I don't mind that it counts as a double. I don't mind that, Jordan.
I don't know. Like, I certainly think it is a hit that you obviously have a double, but I don't think you should be rewarded for trying to stretch an extra base.
That's a tough debate, Jordan. But I'm thinking it's the guy got the extra base hit, and he tried to go 2 to 3 because sometimes if the coach is telling you to go 3, I mean, you can't really fault the player for it. But
that's true, I guess.
That's how I look at it. Like, you can't penalize the player for a coach's decision for like sending them against their personal stats.
Yeah, but I don't know. You don't always have to listen to the coach. You can just stop there if you want. But that is an interesting thought. Let's see what you guys think about it as well. 2 strikeouts to start the top of the 6th. Schilling now has met Clemens. He's got 8 strikeouts as well, and then a flyout to right field ends the top of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th, we have a single. The first time the leadoff man is on all night long. And then Batista at the plate. Same situation. RBI, quote unquote, double because Batista tries to stretch it to go 3, doesn't make it. Did you see this man dive? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was quite the dive, Jordan. And I'm glad like Danny Bautista got the start because there was some debate of starting Reggie Sanders over him, and Danny Bautista really made the most of his start.
Yeah, Danny did tremendous, and he gets the first run of the game on his RBI. They showed this replay a lot. They really loved themselves some Jeter, when in reality, it was the same relay throw that Craig Counsell made. So I don't understand why they kept showing it. But when they were showing it, did you think he was safe? It was a very close call at third.
It was a tough call, Jordan. They called out. I would have just stayed with the out call because, we don't have a replay.
Yeah, no, not at all at this point in 2001. And something now it probably would have took a few minutes to look at. So thankfully we didn't have to sit through that. 6 innings, 2/3 of the game are complete. 1-0 lead for the hometown Diamondbacks. 7th inning now. Top of the 7th, Derek Jeter gets himself a single. The first real hit of the game for the Yankees. They finally have a runner on. Then they get another single, 2 on. And then there is a sacrifice play. Get the runner out at second. So we've got 1 out. Runners on the corners. Tino Martinez, RBI single. And then back-to-back flyouts. The center fielder had a really long run to get that one. I thought it was going to get down, which could have been 2 runs for the Yankees, but nope. It's tie at 1, heading into the bottom of the 7th inning, and this is where things get interesting. Schilling is the first batter in the bottom of the 7th. What were your thoughts on this? I mean, certainly they were going to pull him soon enough. Why not just do it here and try and get a better at bat?
Well, Schilling's a big game pitcher, Jordan, the .88 ERA, and the Diamondbacks manager is really riding on his back, and I think he wanted him to go one more inning, so they kept him in.
And they kept him in, and we'll see how that panned out in the 8th inning. It didn't do too well, but next, there was a single, and this is when Clemens comes out of the game. So Mike Stanton enters the game. Clemens, though, we should say, 10 strikeouts, which is tied for the most in a Game 7, 10 Ks for Clemens. Mike Stanton is in, and then Diamondbacks get caught stealing, and it's an easy pop-out to the pitcher to end things off. 7 innings done. Tie. 1 run apiece, but not for long. Soriano makes up for his errors. A solo shot. He went golfing. I mean, this pitch was low. He cracked it out of the park. Schilling stays in for the time being, gets a strikeout the next at bat. Then there's a single. They bring in Miguel Batista. So Batista comes in to pitch, gets a ground out, and Batista's out. Just like that, Randy Johnson is in. Do you miss this sort of thing where Craig Counsell would always do this as well? Bring a pitcher in basically for one guy.
Yeah, no more playing matchups anymore, at least in our game. But if we fast forward back to 2001, we could play matchups, and like we saw Mike Stanton come in to face some lefties, and we saw Mike Stanton even 10 years ago before this in the 1991 World Series. And yeah, I miss the old matchup thing, but pace of play, you gotta face the 3 batter minimum. Rob Manfred, blah blah.
Yeah, I was a big fan of when you'd bring in a pitcher for one guy, take him out, bring in another guy, give him 2 batters, but certainly not seeing that anymore. I loved seeing it back in the day here. 0-1 World Series. We're in top of the 8th inning. Randy Johnson pitches, and he started last night. So coming in, he only has 11 career relief appearances, and he's 3-0 in those relief appearances. Gets a flyout to end the top half of the inning. Now the pitcher, Mariano Rivera, big name for the Yankees. Basically, they're Josh Hader, I would say, right?
Oh yeah, and yeah, like you're about to say, Jordan, they brought him in the 8th, and they try to get 2 innings out of him, which we'll see how that pans out too.
Yeah, it might have been a mistake to try and get 2 instead of 1, but he comes in. He's got 5 saves in this postseason, 2-0 record, just a .61 ERA. And in postseason history, has a .7 ERA, which is the best in MLB history. Only one blown save in his postseason career. 3 strikeouts in this inning. Gives up a hit, but gets 3 Ks. So right away, Rivera looking dominant, and we go to the 9th inning. This, a 2-1 lead for the Yankees. 3 up, 3 down. Randy Johnson gets the job done, ends it with a strikeout. Now we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Diamondbacks down 2 runs. Hometown crowd cheering them on. Doesn't get any bigger than this. Team is down 1 run at home. Game 7, World Series. Mark Grace, leadoff single to get things going. Then, oh boy, a bunt from Damian Miller, but a throwing error. I mean, Rivera wasn't even close here.
No, he shouldn't have thrown it to second, Jordan. He should have just took the out at 1. And that's got to be one of his biggest regrets.
Has to be. I mean, I think he was trying to go 2, obviously, but it certainly wasn't going to work. And now we see Jeter really in pain after this one. I thought Mark Grace could have went to third, but Jeter was kind of down and in the way. Maybe he milked it out a little more than he had to, but regardless, no outs, runner on first and second, runner thrown out at third because they go for a bunt. Didn't work. They get the lead runner. So first and second, 1 out. Womack at the plate, RBI single. This game is tie at 2. Craig Counsell is at the plate, and I was waiting for something to happen. I'm like, come on. And he gets hit on the hand. Bases are loaded, only 1 out, and it's Luis Gonzalez hitting the walk-off, ending this thing. The Diamondbacks have won 3-2. Rivera gives up 2 runs in the bottom half of the 9th inning. And that's all she wrote. The Diamondbacks win Game 7 at home. Home team won every game this series. And, I mean, there's no better way to go out in a World Series Game 7. Down 2 runs, down 2 runs, heading into the 9th inning, and boom, just like that, game over, win on your home court.
Yeah, and there's no better guy to do it than Luis Gonzalez, Jordan. He played every game in the 2001 regular season, had 57 home runs, 142 RBIs, batted .325, an OPS 1,000, like over 1,000, and I'm just really happy he was the guy to end it.
He did phenomenal. Playing every single game, that is crazy. Luis Gonzalez gets the job done, and as I said before, relievers are 0-2 with a 4.15 ERA in the series. Make that 0-3 and add some more to that ERA because things just did not pan out well for the one and only Mariano Rivera. Can't do it. Second blown save in his postseason career, and that .7 ERA in the postseason was going up after this. So Diamondbacks get the win the World Series. It was their 4th year, and they're the fastest franchise ever to win the World Series. I'm pretty sure it was 4 years, right?
Yeah, I think it was because with 98, yeah, it was.
Yes, 4 seasons is all it took for them to win. And now Drew's going to read some of the big award winners from the year. I mean, some of them are obvious, but some of them might catch you by surprise.
Yeah, we're going to start with the World Series MVP, Jordan. There was co-MVPs this year, Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling, rightfully so.
I didn't understand why they got but they both deserved it.
Rightfully so, yeah. And then the AL MVP voting, of course, it's going to go to someone on the 116-win team. Ichiro Suzuki. He was the Rookie of the Year and the Most Valuable Player. So that's quite the accomplishment. Nobody's ever done that. Then for the NL MVP, Barry Bonds, of course, when you're going to set a record for home runs with 73 home runs, 137 RBIs, you're going to win it. And then for AL Cy Young, Roger Clemens won this, Jordan. And let me tell you, this was a bad choice. The only reason he wins is because he's 20-3, and his teammate who should have won, Mike Mussina, was 17-11. Just the wins above the replacement just shows 7.1 wins above replacement for Mussina over 5.7 for Clemens. But records are just what it was back then.
Yeah, was WAR a big stat back in the day?
No,
I don't think so.
Nope.
No. So that is, I mean, when you got what was he, 20-3, I think you said?
20-3 compared to 17-11.
Yeah, when you're 20-3, I mean, someone's gonna look at that on paper who has no idea about baseball and be like, "Whoa, this guy was a stud." But in reality, I mean, if your name is Trevor Richards and you have a 3-0 record, that doesn't mean you're the best reliever in baseball. So win-loss record, we talk about it all the time, how it really doesn't mean too much, but they looked at it here, and that's why Roger Clemens ends up winning the Cy Young Award.
Yep. And like even ERA, Mike Mussina had 3.15 compared to Clemens 3.51, but whatever. The NL Cy Young Award voting, Randy Johnson number 1, Kurt Schilling number 2. Johnson wins the award easily, which is fine because Schilling got all the second place votes. And AL Rookie of the Year, we mentioned Ichiro won it. NL Rookie of the Year, Albert Pujols won it easily, had 100% of the share votes. They're all first place votes. And then the AL Manager of the Year, Lou Piniella of the Mariners, and the NL Manager of the Year, Larry Boa of the Philadelphia Phillies. So no Bob Brenly, the Diamondbacks manager. He finished in 3rd. He didn't win it. And then Joe Torre finished 5th for the AL. So those are the big awards.
I feel like that happens a lot where the manager for the winning World Series team, whether it's football, basketball, doesn't matter, they don't win Coach of the Year half the time, which I kind of find it funny, but that's just how that works out. So anything else you want to say about this game? I thought it was a good one.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It's great to have a 2000, like one in the 21st century, hearing the game on Fox and just like seeing they have graphics, they actually have a scoreboard. It was just really nice to see.
So much easier to follow a game with a scoreboard. And yeah, like you said, Fox too. I mean, a lot of the things we were watching were on like CBS because they were old school. But now, what are we doing next week, Drew? We're moving up 4 years. Remember, we changed our NBA game and we're doing Game 7, 2005, the Pistons and the Spurs. What are we going to expect next week?
We're going to see Tim Duncan, Ben Wallace. We're going to see, Richard Hamilton, Chauncey Billups. We're going to see who else am I missing, Jordan?
Is Tony Parker a thing then?
Yep, we're going to see Tony Parker with the Spurs. We're going to see some Manu Ginobili. We're going to see some old duos and trios go at it.
Ginobili is a name I haven't heard in a while, so that's going to be fun. 2005 NBA Finals, Game 7. You guys have all week to watch it. Coming up this Sunday, my UFC recap. Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, the trilogy fight. Woo! I am excited for this. Can't wait for my UFC recap. And I just want to say as well, we need to thank all of our fans because I have to double check because we haven't hit it yet at the time of recording, but we have going to been hitting 1,000 all-time plays for our podcast. Can't thank you guys enough for that, getting us to that huge, huge milestone. I mean, Drew, we've been thanking the fans a lot lately, but they deserve it.
Rightfully so. They've been supporting us from our start in early March, and we've been able to grow. Look, Jordan, it's already July.
Yeah, I'll never forget, we started this state when we went to state the one day, came home, recorded right after the pilot. Crazy, crazy stuff. Time has been flying by. Thank you all for 1,000 plays. And don't forget, we're on all the socials. YouTube, Jordan Drew, the Sports Crew. We're up to 23 subscribers. Follow us. Leave that 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Jordan Drew _ Sports Crew on Instagram. Jordan Drew, the Sports Crew on Facebook. We're everywhere. We're working on some other things. Hopefully those shirts will be in it, if not late this week. Hopefully they'll be in next week. Working on some other bits of merchandise. Very, 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 very limited in pieces for sale coming up soon. And that's basically everything. Drew, what you got to shout out?
Add me on Twitter. You can follow me there. Drew Skyberg, DREWSKYBERG.
Jordan Law _ PXP on Twitter for me. And that wraps up episode 6 of Jordan and Drew Summer Sports Spectacular, the perfect podcast for you.